Welcome to Sleep Shaper, your sanctuary for peaceful sleep stories designed to help you drift off faster and more deeply. I'm Saiful, your companion on this tranquil journey, and I'm so glad you've joined me tonight. In this episode, we will step softly into the heart of a serene, moonlit forest where ancient trees hold the quiet secrets of time itself. Together, we'll explore the wisdom of towering oaks, the tender memories of willows, and the enduring strength of pines. Each chapter will invite you to listen closely to the whispers of the trees, guiding you into a state of deep relaxation. Allow your thoughts to unwind like the gentle sway of branches in a soft breeze, and let the calming rhythm of the story lull you into a peaceful, dream-filled sleep. Let's journey together through the quiet, sacred lives of the trees as we ease into the embrace of a restful, tranquil slumber.
The day is drawing to a close and twilight spreads across the landscape like a soft, violet blanket. The air is cool, rich with the earthy scent of damp soil, pine needles, and the faint trace of moss. The forest ahead, still and quiet, feels ancient, untouched by the chaos of the world outside its protective canopy. Sarah, a young scholar seeking solace from the cluttered thoughts that weigh heavily on her mind, steps into the forest, her boots sinking slightly into the soft, moss-covered earth. Her breath is deep and slow, as though the very air of the forest is a balm for her soul. She moves deliberately, her pace measured, as though each step is part of a ritual, a gentle return to something forgotten. The world beyond the trees, with its constant hum of noise and expectation, fades away, replaced by the subtle rhythm of nature's pulse. Her steps, though soft, seem to harmonize with the forest's heart. Beneath her feet, the moss is plush, the earth spongy and welcoming. She can feel the quiet sway of life around her, the gentle rustling of leaves in the wind, the distant murmur of a stream, and the soft creaking of old branches that have withstood the passage of countless seasons. Each footfall feels as though it is absorbed by the forest, as if the very ground beneath her feet is drawing her in, inviting her deeper. The trees around her stand in perfect stillness, their trunks massive and ancient, their branches reaching upward toward the heavens. Each one is a silent sentinel, guarding the secrets of the ages. The silver light of the moon begins to filter through the canopy above, casting a soft, ethereal glow on the forest floor. The light catches on the leaves, making them shimmer as if dusted with stardust, while the shadows deepen and stretch like long, welcoming arms. As Sarah walks deeper into the woods, the air grows even stiller, the forest holding its breath in the growing twilight. The world seems to slow, time stretching out, each moment elongated and comforting in its softness. The wind whispers through, the trees carrying with it an ancient song that Sarah can almost hear, but cannot quite name. Then, just as she pauses to breathe in the serenity of the moment, something shifts in the air. The leaves around her rustle in a rhythm that feels deliberate, like a quiet message in code. Sarah's pulse quickens, her senses heightened, though she cannot explain why. It is as though the very forest is alive, watching her, waiting for her to listen. Listen closely, a voice murmurs, so soft and clear it could be the wind, or perhaps a whisper from within her own mind. We have much to share with you. Sarah's heart skips a beat. She freezes, her eyes wide as she looks around, unsure whether the voice came from the trees themselves or from the depths of her own consciousness. The sound of the wind in the branches suddenly seems to swell, becoming more than just a breeze. It feels as if the trees themselves are calling to her, speaking in a language older than words. The air around her hums with a quiet energy, a palpable presence that surrounds her in every direction. The scent of the forest grows deeper, richer, filling her senses, earthy and grounding with a faint sweetness, like rain on dry soil. Sarah breathes deeply, her body relaxing into the rhythm of the woods, the sounds of the forest settling into her bones. The trees, tall, sturdy, and filled with the weight of millennia, seem to pulse with life. The forest feels more than just a collection of flora. It feels like a living entity, its heart beating in time with Sarah's own, as if the two of them are now part of the same breath. Her mind, which had been consumed with the noise of the outside world, quiets, replaced by an overwhelming sense of connection, an invitation from the very woods to step into a different, timeless world. And so she listens. The air is still now, filled only with the soft, rhythmic rustle of the leaves and the occasional distant call of a night bird. But it is the trees that seem to be the most present. They hold their stories, ancient, fragile, and vast, as though the weight of centuries has gathered in their silent forms. Sarah takes a small, deliberate step forward, her senses open to the forest's ancient song, ready to hear what secrets it has to offer. Sarah's footsteps guide her deeper into the heart of the glade, drawn forward by an invisible force, as if the trees themselves are beckoning her. The air here is stiller, saturated with an ancient sense of wisdom that seems to wrap around her, like a soft cloak. She can feel the very pulse of the forest beneath her skin, as though each heartbeat resonates with the slow rhythm of the earth. The path is winding, but she moves with purpose, her attention fully consumed by the sensations around her. Then she sees it, an oak tree, its form more imposing than any other she has encountered in the forest. Towering high above her, its massive trunk seems to stretch endlessly toward the heavens, while its limbs, wide and sturdy, seem to cradle the sky. The bark is a deep, textured brown, gnarled and weathered by centuries of wind and rain. Its surface is rough under Sarah's fingertips. Each crack in the bark a testament to the tree's resilience through the ages. The oak's presence is both gentle and commanding, its quiet strength resonating through the forest. Sarah feels herself drawn closer, her movements slow and reverent. There is something sacred in its silence, something that makes her pause in awe. She places a hand on its trunk, feeling the coolness of its surface seep into her skin. As her fingers graze the rough bark, a shiver runs down her spine, a strange sensation of connection, as though the tree itself recognizes her touch. And then, without warning, the voice of the oak fills the air around her, deep and resonant, like the rumble of distant thunder. "I have stood for centuries, young scholar," it begins, the words wrapping around her like a soft wind. "My roots run deep within the earth, far below the surface. They stretch through the soil, through the layers of rock and time, connecting me to the very core of this world." Sarah closes her eyes, captivated by the power in its voice. She listens, not just with her ears, but with her entire being. She can almost hear the oak's roots far beneath the earth, curling and twisting through the dark soil, reaching out to the forgotten corners of the world. It is a sensation like being on the edge of a dream, where the lines between reality and imagination blur. The oak continues, its voice carrying the weight of time itself. I have seen civilizations rise and fall. Kingdoms that once flourished are now but whispers in the wind. I have watched empires crumble into dust, and yet, through it all, I stand, unyielding, silent. The passage of time may break mountains, but I endure. My roots hold the stories of the earth. I carry them, not in words, but in the very fabric of my being. Each root is a memory, each branch a witness to the unfolding of history. Sarah breathes deeply, the weight of the oak's words sinking deep within her chest. She can feel the stories swirling around her, like the wind stirring the leaves. The oak is more than just a tree. It is a living library, a keeper of forgotten tales of battles fought long ago, of the quiet lives of those who once stood beneath its shade. Every knot in the bark seems to tell a story, every ring in its trunk a year of survival, growth, and change. She presses her palm further into the bark, her fingers tracing the texture as though trying to absorb the stories it holds. She imagines the roots below winding through the earth like veins in the body of the world, each one connecting to the other, forming an underground network of memories and experiences. Sarah wonders how many stories are buried deep beneath her feet, waiting to be uncovered. I have seen more than you could ever comprehend, young one, the oak murmurs, its voice softening, as though it is sharing a secret meant only for her. But I am not the only one who holds these stories. The forest is alive with memories, and we, the trees, are its keepers. We are the quiet witnesses to time's unfolding, and we hold its wisdom, if only one is willing to listen. The air around her seems to thicken with the weight of the oak's words. It is as though the entire forest has leaned in, holding its breath, waiting for Sarah to understand. Her breath comes slower now, deeper, as she allows herself to sink into the moment. She feels grounded, connected to the earth beneath her, her soul tethered to something eternal. The oak has shared its wisdom with her, its stories of the past, and she knows deep within her heart that she will carry them with her forever. The air hums quietly, the trees whispering in the background as the oak falls silent once more, its voice fading into the evening air. Sarah, filled with a quiet understanding, pulls her hand from the bark, though the connection remains. She turns slowly, ready to continue her journey deeper into the forest, knowing that the oak's stories will stay with her, woven into her very being. Sarah continues her journey through the glade, her senses attuned to the delicate whispers of the forest. Each step feels more like an invitation than a choice, as though the forest itself is gently guiding her deeper into its embrace. The air around her is thick with the hum of life, rustling leaves, distant bird calls, and the soft creak of branches stretching in the cool evening breeze. There's a peace here, a timeless calm that seeps into her bones and quiets her racing thoughts. As she walks, she begins to feel a subtle shift in the atmosphere. The light filtering through the canopy grows softer, more golden, and the moonlight seems to take on a silvery hue, casting long, tranquil shadows across the forest floor. The path narrows and Sarah finds herself walking through an archway of delicate, sweeping branches. She raises her gaze and sees it, her next destination, a willow tree standing alone in the center of a small clearing. The willow's branches are long and draped low, their tendrils hanging down like the silken strands of a long-lost memory. The leaves shimmer in the gentle breeze, their edges catching the light, creating a soft, almost hypnotic shimmer. The dull air around the willow is cooler, tinged with the scent of fresh water, and Sarah can hear the faintest sound, like the gentle lapping of a stream, though she sees no water nearby. It is the willow's own song. She realizes the rustling of its leaves singing an ancient lullaby, soft and rhythmic. Sarah feels an inexplicable pull toward the willow, a quiet yearning in her heart. There is something soothing about this tree, something deeply familiar, as though it has waited for her. She moves closer, her eyes drawn to the delicate curves of its branches, each one bending gracefully toward the earth, as if seeking to touch the very ground from which it grew. The willow's voice, soft and delicate, fills the space around her, like a whisper carried on the wind. I have seen the passage of love beneath my branches, young scholar. The willow murmurs, its voice carrying the weight of generations. I have cradled hearts full of joy and hearts full of sorrow. Lovers have come to me, seeking solace in my shade. Their whispered promises have danced upon my leaves, their laughter has filled the air. And yet I have also felt their pain, their loss, their quiet farewells. Sarah stops in her tracks, a lump forming in her throat as she listens. The willow's voice is filled with tenderness, its words weaving a tapestry of emotions, of love, of longing, of memories both beautiful and heartbreaking. She closes her eyes for a moment, allowing the tree's words to wash over her, its soft, lilting tones soothing her weary heart. I stand as a keeper of their secrets, the willow continues, its branches swaying gently in the breeze, as though the very tree is breathing with Sarah, sharing in her understanding. Tender, fragile, and fleeting as the wind, love, you, see, is as ephemeral as the breeze that rustles my leaves. It can be here one moment and gone the next, like the passing of a season. But love, no matter how brief, is never truly forgotten. It lingers in the air, in the earth, in the very fabric of time itself. Sarah feels a tear slip down her cheek, not out of sadness, but out of a deep, profound understanding. There is a beauty in the willow's words, a soft melancholy that resonates within her chest. Love, whether it is fleeting or eternal, leaves its mark. She knows this truth deeply now. Love shapes us, changes us, and in its passing, we are never quite the same. The willow continues, its voice now even softer, almost like a sigh. I have seen lovers carve their names into my bark, marking their love for eternity. But even as the years pass, as my bark grows and the marks fade, the memory of their love remains woven into the very fiber of my being. It is carried within the wind, whispered through my branches. It is carried in the quiet sway of my leaves, in the way the sunlight filters through them at dawn. And even when they are long gone, their love lingers with me, just as it will linger with you, dear scholar." Sarah wipes her eyes gently, the willow's words wrapping around her like a comforting embrace. She understands now. This tree, with its graceful, sweeping branches, is a living memory of every love it has ever held. Every whispered promise, every kiss shared in its shade, every tear shed beneath its boughs is imprinted on its soul. The willow is not just a tree, it is a keeper of all the emotions that humans in their fleeting existence experience. She steps closer, her hand brushing lightly against the smooth bark, feeling the coolness of its surface. She wonders how many other souls have stood here, beneath this same tree, in search of something, whether it was love or peace, or simply a moment to pause and reflect. For a long moment, Sarah simply stands there, the quiet rustling of the willow's leaves filling her ears, the soft, rhythmic lullaby of the tree lulling her into a state of calm and reflection. She feels as if the willow has shared a piece of itself with her, a quiet, sacred fragment of time and emotion that she will carry with her like a secret for as long as she lives. And then, as if the willow senses her need to move on, it falls silent, the gentle sway of its branches the only sound in the still air. Sarah takes a deep breath, feeling a quiet sense of peace settle within her. The willow's love, its story, will stay with her always, etched into her heart, carried on the wind. With a final glance at the graceful, weeping branches, Sarah turns to continue her journey, knowing that the forest, in all its quiet wisdom, has given her something precious, something she will never forget. The path winds deeper into the forest, and the air grows crisp, tinged with the sharp scent of pine. Sarah's senses sharpen, drawn by the subtle shift in the atmosphere. The forest around her seems to breathe more deeply, the air richer, as though the trees themselves are inhaling the evening mist, their trunks standing tall and strong like sentinels watching over her every step. As she walks, the moonlight flickers in and out, weaving through the canopy above, dappling the forest floor in pools of soft silver light. The shadows grow long, stretching like fingers reaching toward the earth, and the air is filled with the soft sound of rustling leaves, now carrying the earthy aroma of pine needles and damp wood. The forest feels ancient here, as though it holds memories older than time itself, quiet and steadfast in its resolve. And then she sees it, a towering pine tree standing alone on the edge of the clearing. Its trunk is thick and strong, the bark a deep, weathered grey that tells of seasons past, of storms weathered and survived. The pine's branches stretch outward, reaching wide into the sky, but they are not delicate like the willow's tendrils or sprawling like the oak's limbs. The pine's branches are dense, firm, and unyielding, like the tree itself, a symbol of resilience against the passage of time. The pine's needles glisten in the soft moonlight, their sharp edges catching the light, while the fragrance of resin and wood fills the air, grounding Sarah in the moment. There is a weight to this tree, a silent strength that draws Sarah forward. She feels as though the pine is an anchor, its deep roots buried firmly within the earth, holding it steady even in the harshest of winds. Approaching slowly, Sarah places her hand against the pine's bark, its surface rough and cool beneath her fingers. The moment her skin makes contact, she feels a surge of energy, a pulse that resonates through her entire being, as though the tree is alive with an ancient wisdom, a quiet power that it is eager to share. I have withstood the harshest of storms, my dear, the pine speaks, its voice deep and resonant, like the groan of wind through the forest. The winds have bent my branches, the cold has pierced my bark, yet year after year, I stand, I endure. The world may change around me, but I remain unyielding, a symbol of resilience. Sarah listens closely, her breath steady and calm. There is a quiet beauty in the pine's voice, steady, unshaken, like the tree itself. She imagines the storms the pine has faced, the howling winds that have tested its strength, the bitter cold that has pressed against its bark. Yet, through it all, the pine has stood tall, its roots burrowed deep within the earth, its branches strong against the elements. I have seen the seasons change, over and over again. The pine continues, its voice a steady rhythm like the passing of time itself. The spring rains come, the summer sun warms my needles, the autumn winds shake my branches, and the winter snows blanket me in quiet solitude. But still, I stand. I do not bend to the winds, nor do I break beneath the weight of the snow. I endure. And through each storm, I grow stronger, more rooted in the earth, more connected to the world around me. Sarah closes her eyes, feeling the pine's words settle deep within her, resonating with something inside of her own heart. The idea of enduring, of standing firm through life's storms, is something she knows all too well. She feels the weight of her own struggles, the moments when she, too, has faced challenges that seemed insurmountable. But here, beneath the towering pine, she feels a quiet reminder that there is power in resilience. There is beauty in standing firm, even when the world is unpredictable and harsh. The pine's voice grows softer, but its message is clear. My needles do not fall like the leaves of other trees. I do not shed my strength in the fall. I am evergreen, eternal, enduring through the harshest seasons. I am a reminder that even in the toughest of times, there is beauty in perseverance. There is strength in standing tall when the world feels like it is pushing you down. Sarah opens her eyes and takes a deep breath, feeling the steady presence of the pine wash over her. Its strength seems to seep into her, grounding her in the moment. She stands tall, her posture shifting, as though she too has become a part of the landscape, rooted, resilient, unyielding. The pine's resilience has become hers. For a long moment, she simply stands there, her hand resting gently on the rough bark, feeling the pulse of the tree beneath her fingertips, the ancient rhythm of the earth that flows through it. There is something sacred about this connection, something unspoken yet profound. She knows that the strength of this tree will stay with her, its quiet endurance a reminder that she can face whatever challenges come her way. As the pine's presence begins to quiet, Sarah slowly withdraws her hand, feeling a last, lingering pulse of energy before the connection fades. She turns, but not without a deep sense of gratitude for the quiet wisdom the pine has shared. The winds stir gently through its branches as if the tree is offering a final blessing. With a heart filled with peace, Sarah moves on, the path ahead still unknown, but now imbued with the quiet strength of the pine, a steady reminder of the power of resilience. The forest has grown quiet now, the sounds of the day fading into the soft, lingering whispers of twilight. The moon has risen high, casting its silvery glow across the landscape, bathing the trees in an ethereal light. The world feels suspended, in time, each moment stretched and still, as if the night itself holds its breath, waiting for something more. Sarah stands in the center of the glade, the towering trees encircling her like ancient guardians. Their presence is overwhelming yet soothing, like the steady beat of a heart that echoes through the fabric of time itself. The air is thick with the scent of earth and pine, of damp leaves and soft moss. The very air seems to hum with the pulse of the forest, a quiet rhythm that resonates deep within her chest. The stories of the oak, the willow and the pine swirl around her, weaving through the stillness like threads of a tapestry. She can feel them all. The strength of the oak's roots, the tender love held within the willow's branches, and the quiet resilience of the pine. Each tree, each whisper, has left an imprint on her heart, a piece of ancient wisdom that she will carry with her always. And yet there is something more. A final secret the forest is ready to reveal. The trees around her shift slightly as if moving in unison. The air grows heavier, filled with an unspoken anticipation, and Sarah feels a soft shiver run down her spine. Her heart beats faster, not out of fear, but out of curiosity. Curiosity for the deep, unspoken knowledge that the forest holds within its ancient bark. And then the forest speaks. The greatest secret we hold, dear Sarah. The trees murmur in unison, their voices a blend of many, oak, willow, pine and the others, all woven together in a harmonious whisper that seems to rise from the earth itself. Is that we remember everything. The words settle in the air like a weighty sigh, a profound truth that fills the glade with a quiet power. Sarah listens, her breath slow and steady as the voice of the forest continues. Every footstep, every whisper, every moment of joy, every moment of sorrow. We carry it all within us, deep beneath the earth and within our very branches. We have witnessed the unfolding of time, the ebb and flow of lives and histories. We remember everything, Sarah. And now, you do too. The air around her thickens, not in an uncomfortable way, but with a deep, resonating presence, as though the forest is wrapping her in its embrace. She feels the weight of their words, heavy but not burdensome. It is a quiet weight, like the knowledge of the earth itself, held in the roots and branches of the trees that surround her. Each tree, each leaf is a keeper of time, a silent witness to all that has ever been. Sarah feels her connection to the forest deepen. She is no longer just a visitor in this sacred place. She is a part of it now. She has carried its stories within her, and they are now a part of her own story. Her heart, too, seems to pulse with the rhythm of the trees. She understands now that she is not separate from the forest. She is woven into it, connected to it through the very air she breathes, the soil beneath her feet, and the stories that live within her heart. The forest speaks again, its voice softer now, as though sharing a secret meant only for her. We remember every leaf that has fallen, every seed that has sprouted, every soul that has passed beneath our branches, and we hold those memories in our roots, in our boughs, in the very essence of who we are. Sarah closes her eyes, allowing the weight of these words to sink into her soul. She imagines the vast network of roots beneath the forest floor, how they stretch out in every direction, connecting each tree to the others, forming an intricate web of shared memories and experiences. The thought fills her with awe, how every tree, every plant, every stone, and every creature in the forest is part of this vast, interconnected story. And she is part of it too. The moonlight grows brighter, casting a soft glow on the clearing, and Sarah feels an overwhelming sense of peace. The quiet wisdom of the forest wraps around her like a blanket, comforting and eternal. She understands now that the forest is not simply a place of growth and decay. It is a living archive holding the stories of the world in its roots and branches, and it has shared them with her. As she stands in the center of the glade, surrounded by the silent giants, she feels a deep, peaceful stillness. The knowledge that the forest holds is both immense and gentle, timeless and tender. It is a knowledge of the earth, of life, and of the quiet continuity of existence. The trees fall silent once more, the soft rustling of their leaves the only sound in the still air. The moonlight bathes the glade in its quiet glow, casting long, cool shadows on the forest floor. The forest waits, patient and eternal, for the next soul who seeks its wisdom. Sarah takes a deep breath, filled with a quiet understanding. She is ready to leave this sacred place, but the forest's secrets will never leave her. The stories she has heard, the wisdom she has gained, will stay with her always, carried in the deepest parts of her heart. As she begins to turn away, the trees whisper one final message, a gentle, soothing voice that lingers in the air long after the words have faded. Remember us, Sarah, and share our stories. With that, the forest settles back into its eternal silence, waiting for the next soul to wander through its ancient heart. Sarah, now carrying the wisdom of the trees, walks slowly away, the rhythmic sounds of the forest, gentle and constant, following her like a soft song that will never cease.